Our next presentation is coming from Burcu Bree Manay, Managing Partner and CEO of Manay CPA, as well as Gulcin Gurule, California Office Leader and Tax Manager at Manay CPA. They will cover the topic of navigating the complexities of the US market, a guide for startups. And with that, turn it over to Burcu. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everyone from Atlanta, Georgia. My name is Burcu Manay. I'm the founder and managing partner of Manay CPA. Before we start, I would like to thank the Select USA team for organizing this wonderful event. Let's look at our agenda. We'll first talk about Manay CPA and then how to start a business in the US, and then answer your questions. A little bit about me. I'm originally Turkish, and I came here to the United States 22 years ago to have my master's in accounting. And after that, I got my CPA license and started working for a manufacturing company. I worked there for about 10 years and got experience in many different parts of doing business in the United States. Then I decided to focus on my own business, and Manay CPA story started. I am also a board member of the Georgia Chamber of Commerce, the 7th largest economy in the US as far as the states go. I also have our California office leader and tax manager, Gulcin, here with me this morning. She has a CPA license from Turkey, 7 years of extensive experience from one of the big fours, Deloitte, and has a master's degree in tax law from the University of San Diego. As for the Manay CPA, we are a certified public accounting firm based in Atlanta, Georgia, serving all 50 states for over 20 years. In short, we are a CPA licensed, a CPA firm licensed that helps companies expand into the United States and guides them towards successful integration into the US system. I would like to also add that CPA license is one of the most respected licenses in the United States, representing trust and credibility. Lastly, I'm also proud to mention that we have received the top 25 Small Businesses of the Year award from the Cobb Chamber of Commerce in the last 3 years. Some of our clients here on this slide, we are proud to work with a diverse range of clients across various industries. From startups to large-scale corporate companies, we provide expert tax compliance and financial advice and support our clients achieve their strategic goals. Our clients represent a broad range of industries such as retail, e-commerce, construction, industrial, and tech startups. We even have a unicorn in our client portfolio. At Manay CPA, we provide comprehensive solutions to companies from new business formation and selecting the correct entity type, the correct state and ownership structure, to getting your business license and registrations. We also provide standard accounting services such as monthly bookkeeping, payroll, tax compliance, and accounting for interstate transactions. But we don't stop there. We go beyond the standard accounting services. We offer value-added services that can contribute to the success of your company, such as CFO services, retirement planning, and tax planning. We've recently seen an increase in demand for our human resources services as well. Startups and investors are attracted to the US because of its favorable environment. Of course, we all know the US offers various tax incentives for startups to grow and succeed, and it has a welcoming attitude towards new businesses. The US also has a well-developed entrepreneurial ecosystem, providing startups with abundant access to venture capital and a vast network of resources and support. Additionally, the high spending power of consumers is another advantage of startups. Let's look at the 10 steps to starting a business in the US. To assist you in navigating the startup formation process, we have compiled a list of 10 essential steps to get your business up and running. The first step is establish a viable business idea that can succeed in the market for sure. The next step is to create a comprehensive business plan that outlines your objectives, strategies, and financial projections. Once you have a plan in place, you must decide where to incorporate your business and choose the correct business structure, such as an LLC or corporation. Additionally, you need to select a name for your business and register it with the relevant government agencies. After that, obtaining the necessary federal and state tax identification numbers and preparing a post-incorporation agreement are important steps to take. You should also ensure that your business complies with industry regulations and obtain insurance coverage as well. What are the business structures in the United States? One of the most frequently asked questions. There are basically 6 types of companies in the United States. In this presentation, we wanted to highlight the 2 most preferred entity types that can be formed by non-US citizens, and these are C corporations and LLCs. For software startups, the C corporation business structure is often more proper at the investment stage. Although there are pros and cons to this structure, it offers limited legal responsibilities and the ability to exist as a separate legal entity for an extended period of time. Additionally, adding new shareholders is a simple and unlimited process. However, keep in mind that this structure is subject to double taxation. The LLC business structure is often considered more suitable for e-commerce companies due to its advantages, but not usually for the startup tech companies. One of the main benefits is that it provides limited liability protection for personal assets, meaning your personal assets won't be seized if your business defaults on its debt. Additionally, LLCs have fewer regulations and limited legal responsibilities. Setting up an LLC requires a main contract, and the LLC's tax status can be chosen based on your preferred method of taxation. Compared to a corporation, forming an LLC is generally easier. However, you still need to ensure compliance with state regulations. How to choose the state when forming a business? Each state can be considered like a separate country in the United States. That means 50 separate countries. Selecting the correct state for your startup is essential to optimize your productivity in the United States. Different states offer advantages that can be specifically aligned with your startup objectives. For instance, California or Massachusetts may be better suited for obtaining venture capital, while a low-cost state may be more favorable for a self-funded startup. States with a substantial population or a rich talent pool can be ideal for startups targeting customers or requiring specific skills. Incentives and regulations specific to an industry may also impact your decision. Though Delaware is a popular choice, it may not be the most fitting state for unique startups. It's important to consider various factors when deciding on a state. And now I'm going to pass the mic over to Gulcin for a couple of slides, and I'll take over.
Thank you, Bree. Hi, everyone. Greetings from San Diego, California. Let's talk about taxes. In the United States, the concept of the tax is considered sacred, and in this country, there has never been a tax amnesty in its history. If you have a company in the US, you are directly subject to taxation. It's crucial to file your tax returns correctly and on time. There are different types of taxes, including federal and state taxes, which vary depending on each state and entity type. Furthermore, tax rates applied to the individuals and companies in each state also differ. Additional different taxes may be applied based on the counties and cities within the state. It's worth noting that the US tax system is based on the declaration, and separate forms should be filled out and reported to the Internal Revenue Service, which calls IRS, during the tax filing process. Even if someone has not earned any income but has a company in the US, they are still obligated to file the tax return. Let's now discuss nexus, which is a physical and economic component. If you make sales to states other than the state you are in and exceed the sales limit set for them, you may have a tax liability against the state where you made the sale, which is referred to as nexus. Having an office or warehouse in some states can also create a tax obligation for the state, which is the physical dimension of nexus. By the way, the tax treaty implementation is one of the most important checkpoints for international investors, as you know. I would like to emphasize that Kazakhstan is the one of the 67 countries that has a tax treaty with the USA. And in that slide, we would like to also emphasize the importance of the post-corporation steps for especially startup businesses. Some of these steps include preparing article of incorporation documents, intercompany agreements, and capitalization or cap tables. Additionally, it's crucial to insure your company. If you have issued restricted stocks or stock options to your employees or founders, you may be required to file an 83B election with the IRS on time. This step may save you millions of dollars if you ever come to the point of exiting your business. Let me give the mic back to the Mr. Bree here. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you. Assuming you're now ready to hire employees for your company, the process of hiring and terminating employees differs from state to state, and there are various obligations, payroll procedures, compensations, and labor laws to comply in each state. Each state even has a different minimum wage also. The process of terminating an employee's contract is relatively straightforward, but certain steps must still be completed. As you can see, human resource procedures in the United States are critical in many aspects. We just wanted to also talk about some common mistakes entering the US market. First and foremost, it's crucial to analyze the market and its needs accurately and ensure that the cash flow aligns with the market analysis. The United States is a high-cost investment country, so entering this market with resource planning can help you see the path ahead more clearly. Choosing the right company structure and state is also critical in order to avoid mistakes from the outset and to make progress with confidence. Transfer pricing is another important but often overlooked point by investors. The IRS places great importance to this issue, and incorrect implications can result in significant penalties. And how can we help you? As Manay CPA, as I highlighted in the presentation, expanding into the US market may seem complex with many potential pitfalls to avoid. However, we can assure you that our team will ensure that everything is done correctly and efficiently for your benefit. At Manay CPA, we are committed to bridging the gap between you and your investment, bringing it closer to you quickly and reliably. We are not simply a service provider, but a trusted partner who will accompany you throughout your journey. Thank you for listening. And here's our contact information. If you have any questions, please let us know. I am checking the chat right now.
Yes, thank you very much to our colleagues at Manay CPA. Thank you once again, Burcu and Gulcin. And if you'd like, I can read out the questions that we had. I think they came in between Alim's presentation and your presentation, but either of you, if you can answer. So the first question was, are there any age restrictions to open a legal entity in other countries, and also including specifically Delaware, Dubai, Singapore, or US? I believe, Alim, this was part of your presentation, but if any of our speakers can answer that. And then the second question, how long does it take to register a new company as Delaware C Corp, as an example? And then there is a question about if there's any special tax regime available for young companies in the US, and if any, what are the requirements? So I'll stop there to give you some time to respond to one of
Great.
them or the other.
Okay,
Thank
I
you.
can start if you don't mind. There's a restriction to form a business for minors in some states because firstly, when we decided to form and start the business entity process, we have to go to the state first, and we have to follow the state law first. And specifically, you ask for the Delaware, and there's a restriction to open a business entity, the corporation for minors in Delaware. So if you are younger than the 18 years old, you are restricted to form a business in Delaware. And secondly, you ask about the process, the timeline to form a business in Delaware. We have a chance to expedite our state application by just paying the fee. But for the IRS side, it depends. Generally, it takes just only if you don't have the social security number or any like officer or the responsible party of this corporation doesn't have the social security number. Generally, it takes on the IRS side a couple weeks. But it depends the time. For example, in United States, we are in the tax season. Generally, it takes a little bit more, but it's just only the timing thing. I think the other question is relating to selling the product from US to from US dollar, right? Am I
So
right?
this might be a bit more of a complex question, but we'll leave you to decide. I can read it out. In your opinion, what would be the difference between two alternatives to sell to US market, IT and software as a service, either directly through the local US entity or B, selling from a Singapore entity? There must be a double tax treaty. So I believe that's the whole question from our guest. And if this is too complex, we could also ask our attendee guest to address maybe separately to you, Gulcin. We have your contact here, so it might require some additional insights. So thank you so much to our guests for the questions. There was also a clarification whether, according to the latest amendments, Delaware is excluded from the list of states with preferential taxation. If that can be answered offhand, that would be great. If not, we can move on with our presentation. But thank you to our attendees, and once again, thank you to our colleagues and partners at Manay CPA.
Of course.
Gulcin.
Yeah, tax
Thank
treaties
you.
can be complex. So if anybody has any questions regarding tax treaties, we're always here. You can reach us and we'll be happy to help you. Thank you.